Welcome back to the Messianic Hour. I'm your host, Rabbi Scott. The show is dedicated to reaching the lost and educating the found. I want to encourage you again, go to our website, rabbiscott.com. Sign up for our newsletter. You get the free gift. I have a friend who's Jewish to you, and the prophecy card, a free book. It's a great witnessing tool, how to share your faith with your Jewish friends from a historical, scientific, mathematical, and biblical point of view. And the prophecy card, 70 of the key prophecies, where they are in the Torah, where they're fulfilled in the renewed covenant, and witnessing tips on how to share your faith. Free gift. All you have to do is sign up. Remember, we are a listener-supported show, so if you want to help this ministry, you can go to our website as well to be a part of that. Last week, if you were listening, if you weren't, you need to go watch us on either YouTube or back on our website. We have Pastor Robbie Coleman with Christian Friends of Israel, based out of Jerusalem, and he was sharing with us how, as a AG pastor, how God has been moving in a tremendous way to literally change his life on how he understands Scripture and the importance of keeping Sabbath as a Gentile and how to share his faith in Messiah. I'm glad you're back with us. We've actually kept you over for this series. Robbie, you were mentioning last week that you saw a dramatic change in your life. There are people out here that are listening to the show going to what you went through. What were some things that really gave you that, you had those questions. What were some of those things that said, it's just not there. I'm not getting what I was supposed to get from the sermons that I'm hearing. There's more to it. What were those things, and then how did you get into getting those answers for yourself?
Well, as we approach what Paul referenced as the time of the Gentiles will come to a close, I think that transition is set. I think it's taken place. In so doing, our emphasis are changing, and pastors of normal congregations, normal churches, have reached a place that they're just really becoming burnt out on trying to tell people why you need to keep going to church. And that's a place, of course, I have reached, and many others. In Israel, their excitement is they walk every day in anticipation that the Messiah is going to come at any time. That's the Messiah. That's anticipation the church used to walk in,
right.
But we don't walk in that excitement anymore. So we're seeing that happen.
And what were some of the questions that you had, that kind of some of those doubts that got put in your mind, and how did you get the answers for it?
When I began to go to Israel and explore what God wanted me to do, God has given me such favor with the rabbis. I actually host roundtable discussions, Rabbi Sekelo, with Orthodox rabbis in Israel.
Wow.
It's unheard of. I've been going for 30 years. Let me tell you, many years ago, even up until 10 years ago, rabbis really did not even like to get on an elevator with us.
Right.
I've seen them get off the elevator if my wife especially stepped on that elevator. But now they come to our office, and we have times together that we call Reasoning with the Rabbis. Now let me tell you, this show you're doing today is great, but you're going to have to do it in Jerusalem with the Orthodox rabbis.
Would love to.
They're saying to me that for the first time we really believe that you care about us.
Right.
They're making statements like, we are not even sure if America is our ally anymore, but we're finding out that the churches of America are our ally.
You bring up a great point, because the Scripture tells us that a people without a nation would be the ones who provoke Israel to jealousy. Well, that comment, people without a nation, everyone has a nation, but what we call believers of Messiah, those are people without a nation. Gentiles and Jews come together, one in Messiah, make up this people without a nation, and we're provoking the Jews to jealousy. And we're blessed that during this whole time, especially these last number of years, it's been the many of the Messianic movement and groups like Christian Friends of Israel that are coming together and really showing Israel, hey, we're with you. As you know, my brother Jay has done a lot with the Israeli government and has found tremendous favor as a Jewish believer. God's moving in a mighty way in the land, and those rabbis are are looking for the truth. They're starting to realize these things are coming out. You're seeing this happen. What's been the reaction with maybe with the congregation that you came from? I mean, what was their reaction when you told them, I'm leaving, going to Israel?
My congregation at Cornerstone is so excited. They not only have released me to go to Israel, but they support me on a monthly basis financially. And I'm telling you, God is so changing that church. Our church at Cornerstone, as many Gentile churches, are seeing that we must bless Israel.
Right.
I had a dialogue this week with Pastor Jensen Franklin. Pastor Franklin said to me, Robbie, our church is going to get on board. We're going to start supporting Israel. Of course, they've done a lot of things for Israel,
Right.
but they said we want to start supporting Israel on a monthly basis as well. That message is being seen. And let me tell you something. Israel hears that message.
Oh, yes. I know that firsthand. I'm friends with the former Minister of Tourism, who's actually been on our radio show. We've seen a change in the Israeli government on not only the Christians, how they're being viewed, but also as the Messianic community. They're seeing us as that we're not the enemy, that we're there to support them, and we're giving more support, like you said, than they can imagine, with bringing over goods to help those who are in need and to really support the people of the land and not asking anything in return. Here's the good news. The good news is being preached because of that, because they're hearing it, but they're not only hearing it, they're seeing it with their own eyes. They're seeing how people are reacting and that love that they have. That's been the key. You know, people like Pastor Frank, others that are Jensen, that are really getting involved with this. They're seeing a change that takes place. And guess what happens? When we bless Israel, we get blessed. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
I will bless those who bless my people Israel. And we see that take place day in, day out. You know, you and I were involved a couple months ago up in Gainesville with the Bless Israel Day through Glenn Beck was doing it. A grassroots movement brought it on. And I thought it was so funny because we actually have the video on our website on at YouTube of the event, and one of the anti-missionary groups, these are groups that don't want Jewish people to get saved, they actually put it on the front page of their website. It was on for over a month, and people were, and the whole video they were saying, you know, of course they say I'm not Jewish because I believe in Messiah, but here they are giving the word and the message is going out. So it's amazing to see how we're reaching the
Rabbi,
world.
I saw that from Israel.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see. We had an interesting story a couple of years ago. The IPAC was in the States, and they were in Florida. And we were actually quoted in an article that was in, I think, the Jerusalem Post. And they said, one Christian radio show, the Messianic Hour, and they started talking about it. And the girl is quoting stuff from our article, and she was showing how we were pro-Israel. And I realized something. The only way she could have heard this if she was listening to a Christian station. Here's a Jewish woman listening to a Christian station, because that's what we were on in Florida, and they're hearing the good news. Yeah. You're seeing this firsthand. What's some of those things that you're seeing in Israel right now?
Well, people come to me up on the streets and tell me how much they love America. We recently had a rally on Ben Yehuda Street.
I love that
street. When shop owners walked out, leaving their shops totally unattended so they could join our parade. But let me tell you one quick story in about just half a minute. Sharon Sanders, one of our directors, has been loving on mostly Holocaust survivors for many, many years. Well, for 20 years, she had spoke to this Holocaust survivor, going in, seeing her, taking her food. And after 20 years, the lady was at her deathbed. She called for Sharon. When Sharon went to her deathbed, she looked up at her and she said, Sharon, I have one question. Where was the church? In other words, during her Holocaust times, why didn't we show love then? Well, I'm trying to undo that.
Wow.
Rabbi, I'm trying to.
Well, that's great. You want to keep more involved? You want to watch what he's doing online? go to cfijerusalem.org. You have our information there. You have your email as well, so that people can contact you directly. I want to encourage our listening audience, you need to support the work that they're doing there.
Yes.
Bless Israel. I will bless those who bless Israel. Until next week, this is Rabbi Scott saying shalom and pray for the peace of Jerusalem.